Reasons to pass a signal at danger. 1. The signal is defective or disconnected. 2. The signal cannot be cleared because signaling or level crossing equipment has failed. 3. The signal cannot be cleared because a train or movement which has reversed is then required to start from beyond that signal. 4. For shunting purposes, a main aspect or stop signal is to be passed at danger when there is no associated position light. 5. An electric train is to pass the signal protecting an isolated section and proceed towards a limiting point. 6. Emergency permissive working when authorized by control or SBS, signal box supervisor. 7. Signal line working. 8. Working by pilotmen or modified working applies. 9. The line is to be examined to check that it's clear. 10. A train is to enter the section to remove a portion of a divided train, evacuate passengers from a failed train, assist a failed train, remove a train or vehicles that have proceeded without authority. The acronym for this is RARE. 11. An engineering train is to move towards a protection zone. 12. An engineering train is to move towards a possession or leave a line under possession at an intermediate point. 13. A train is to pass the signal protecting engineering work under the requirements of Module TS1 13.2 to gain access to a station where the train is required to start back, a line under signal line working, a siding. Driver's instructions. The acronym for this is WHIP. The W, why they are to pass a signal at danger. The H, how far the movement can proceed. The I, infrastructure such as level crossings, SPAD indicators. The P, proceed at caution. Making sure the line is safe. The acronym for this is GRAB P. The G, ground frames have normal indication unless it is to be operated for the move. R, reminder appliances. A, all points in required position and locked by facing point locks. Check you have all normal and reverse indications. If not, secure on ground by hand, clip and scotch. B, barriers, gates at controlled level crossings are closed to road traffic. P, portion of the line is clear for the movement. Passing two main aspect signals at danger. 1. Same fold holding both signals. Also, if the second signal has a fold, causing the first signal to be at danger. 2. No distant signal between 1 and 2 signals. 3. Second signal not fitted with TPWS. 4. The line has been examined if required. And 5. Third signal showing proceed. T3. Possession of a running line for engineering work. Arrangements with the pickup for T3. The acronym for this is Last Cape. The L, line that will be taken under possession. The A, around one or more trains, the possession is to be taken. The S, signals leading to the possession that will be kept at danger with reminders. T, time the possession is to be taken. That's last basically. Now the Cape bit. C, crossings points that may be used for trains outside the possession. A, arrangements for each level crossing within the possession. P, position of the points within the possession. E, exact location of the detonator protection. and whether this is less than the standard distance, which is 400 meters or 440 yards. Moving on. Arrangements with the cause for line blockage 13.2. The acronym for this is tall pans. The cause has tall pans. The T, time it will take to do the work. The A, arrangements at level crossings. The L, locations between which the work will take place. The L, line to be blocked. P, protecting signals. A, additional protection needed if the work affects the safety of the line. N, nature of the work. T, time after which permission can be given for the line blockage to start. Time after which permission can be given for the line blockage to start. S, single line working arrangements if it's taking place. Arrangements for line blockage, this is 13.1. The acronym for this is DPDS. DPDS. The D, driver asks to block a line for their or train crew personal safety to walk alongside their train. P, personnel working on outside of a train stopped on a running line because of failure or other incident, or checking working equipment on OTM is correctly positioned. D, this designated person needs to walk with a group to a stopped train on running line. S, station staff asked to retrieve items from the track at a station platform. Arrangements with PICOS for 13.4. Name and contact details of PICOS. Location of sidings. Whether whole or part of sidings will be taken under possession. Date and time possession to be taken and given up. Who will tell the shunter if involved? The details of the sidings will be on your location sectional appendix. You must inform control of the siding possession taken time. Moving on. Protection zone arrangements. T310. Number 1. The line the PZ will be set up on. 2. The locations the work will take place between. 3. Whether the PZ will be set up around a train. 4. The leading signal to the PZ that will be kept at danger. 5. The exit signal beyond the protection zone that will be kept at danger. 6. The limits of the PZ must be at least 400 meters beyond the protecting signal to at least 200 meters on the approach to the exit signal. Those are the limits. 7. Which signals within the PZ that can be passed at danger. If the ES, engineering supervisor, or SWL, site work leader, has your authority to pass this to the driver. 8. What wrong direction movements may be necessary towards the start of the PZ, and that the ES or SWL can pass your authorization for the movements to the driver. And 9. What type of additional protection will be used. This is usually signal disconnection and T-code. TS1 4.3, allowing a train into the affected signal section. Allowing a train into the affected signal section. The acronym for this is WAID. The W, working to and from point of obstruction or serve an intermediate station or siding. A, assisting train Allow an assisting train into an occupied section. D. Diverging route. Allow a train to pass through a diverging junction before reaching the obstruction. And E. Examine the line. TS1 19. Stop and examine. You must stop and examine if you become aware of anything unusual or wrong, such as fish pond. The acronym is fish pond. The F. Fire on a train, vehicle. Insecure load. Signals of alarm. Hot axle box. Person has fallen from the train. O. Other mishaps and noise. An unusual noise coming from the train. D. Doors open or on the catch. You must also look out for damage to the infrastructure which might have been caused by the train, including multiple or sequential track circuit failures or multiple or sequential loss of detection of points. TS120. Examination of the line. When can a train not be used to examine the line, but a competent person used instead? 6 occasions. The acronym for this is BADS, 2 B's and 2 S's at the end. But there's 6 occasions. First occasion, B. Broken, distorted or damaged rails. 2. Broken fish plates. 3. An underlying bridge has been struck by a road vehicle unless otherwise stated in SBSI. D. Damage to a bridge not caused by road vehicle. 5. Subsidence. 6. As suspected damage to any other structure below or above the railway. TS1 3.5. Using reminder appliances. 4 occasions. 1. The signal protecting a route over which the normal passage of trains or certain trains is stopped. 2. The signal protecting a route over which trains can pass only after the driver has been told to proceed at caution in connection with an incident, failure, or unusual occurrence. 3. Any signal or level crossing equipment that is disconnected or defective. 4. The signal protecting a train or vehicles detained or left on a running line where track circuits are not provided. TS2 5. Train or vehicles proceeding without authority. Signalers' immediate actions. 7 of them. The first one, place or keep signals at danger against the train or vehicles and any other trains that could be put in danger. 2. Arrange for train radio messages to be sent. 3. Alter the position of any points to divert trains and prevent collisions. 4. Arrange for the line on which the train or vehicle is proceeding without authority to be cleared. 5. Take necessary action for any level crossings. 6. Take any action to reduce the risk of a collision. 7. If involved, emergency alarm to another signaller if involved. P1. Signal line working. Remind the pilotmen of the following 7 things. First one, controlled or manned level crossings which are protected by signals. 2. Automatic level crossings. 3. Barrow or foot crossings with white light indicators. 4. Unworked points. 5. Intermediate signal boxes which are closed and what time they will open. 6. Any TSR, temporary speed restriction, or ESR, emergency speed restrictions that affect the signal line or any train returning to the proper line. 7. Whether obstructed line has T3 possession, line blockage 13.2 or failed train M2. Signal line working when driver does not need a ticket. Acronym for this is rear with a W at the end. The R, remove a portion of a divided train. E, evacuate passengers from a failed train. A, assist a failed train. R, remove a train or vehicles that have proceeded without authority. And the W, work to and from a point of obstruction. TW7, wrong direction movement, WDM. A wrong direction movement may only be authorized under the following circumstances, and these are 12. 1. A train is to return after overrunning a platform as long as the overrun is not more than 400 meters or 440 yards beyond the platform. 2. A train is to return after taking a wrong route at a junction. 3. A train is to make a movement to return from or proceed towards a line blocked by an accident, failure, obstruction, or other exceptional incident. 4. A train cannot continue forward and has to return because it has failed or it cannot be driven from the cab at the leading end. 5. A light locomotive or multi-unit train, loaded or empty, is to proceed over the affected or unaffected line to assist a failed train. 6. The front portion of a divided train is to return to the rear portion. The front portion of a divided train is to return to the rear portion. 7. An engineering train is to move towards or from a line under possession. 8. A shunting movement is to be made through points that are worked from a ground frame. 9. Signal line working is in operation. 10. An on-track machine working in section is to return to or towards the published start mileage of the site of work. 11. An engineering train or on-track machine OTM is working in a protection zone PZ. 12. A rail grinding train is to return to extinguish a line-side fire. Wrong direction movements, making sure the line is safe. And poo bags is the acronym. The P, points in the required position and locked by facing point locks where provided. Unworked points are secured. That's the U. B, barriers, gates at controlled level crossings are closed to road traffic. A, AHBC without wrong direction controls is locally operated. G, ground frame release in normal unless needed for the movement. S, signals set to danger with reminders. Wrong direction movement, driver's instructions. And the acronym for this is WUPA. The W, what is required. H, how far the movement can go. U, unworked points are secured. P, points and crossings checked are set correctly for the movement. P. Proceed at caution except during single line working. A. Arrangements at level crossings. Keep wrong direction movement clearance distance 400 meters or 440 yards unless, the acronym for this is SOLD. S. The S. Stationary train or vehicle. O. Obstruction point. L. Line beyond the point at which it will return to a line in the right direction. So the L is line beyond the point at which it will return to a line in the right direction. The D. Detonators protecting a possession. And this is the time where you don't need the 400 meter clearance distance. Moving on. M2. Train stopped by train failure. What info needed from driver of failed train? The acronym for this is DATE. The D. Direction assistance must approach. The A. Assurance the failed train will not be moved. The T. Type of assisting train required. E. Exact location of the failed train. Assisting driver's instructions. What info needed to be given to assisting train? 4 things. First, the exact location of the failed train. Location of the failed train. 2. How the failed train is protected. Location of assistance protection. 3. Where the assisting train will be met by the driver of the failed train. So location of driver of failed train. 4. Where the failed train must be taken to. Location that failed train must be taken to. So location, 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 location. Location of train of failed train, location of assistance protection, location of driver of failed train, and location that failed train must be taken to. Moving on. TS2 7. Allowing an assisting train into an occupied section. The acronym for this is REAR. Again, R. Remove a portion of a divided train. E. Evacuate passengers from a failed train. A. Assist a failed train. R. Remove a train or vehicles that have proceeded without authority. And this is the occasions when you are allow an assisting train into an occupied section. TS2 13.2. Train requiring to stop in section. The information that you need to give the other signaller are type of train, where the train is to stop and why, the approximate time the train will occupy the section. TS1 21. Train and an unusual long time in section. You must try to contact the driver to find out the cause of the due train. If that's not possible, then you do 5 more things. 1. Stop each train on any adjacent line traveling towards the overdue train. 2. Tell the driver of each train the circumstances regarding the overdue train. 3. Instruct the driver to proceed at caution when the signal is cleared. 4. Tell the driver to report what has happened with the overdue train. And 5. Signal each train on the adjacent line normally. Now, if that's not possible, if another line is not available, then get help from a competent person. Now, just to repeat again, TW7, wrong direction movement. A wrong direction movement may only be authorized under the following circumstances. These are 9 for revision. 1. A train is to return after overrunning a platform as long as the overrun is not more than 400 meters or 440 yards beyond the platform. 2. A train is to return after taking a wrong route at a junction. 3. A train cannot continue forward and has to return because it has failed or it cannot be driven from the cab at the leading end. 4. The front portion of a divided train is to return to the rear portion. 5. Engineering train is to move towards or from a line on the possession. Shunting movement is to be made through points that are worked from a ground frame. 7. Single line working is in operation. 8. Engineering train or OTM is working in a protection zone. And 9. Rail grinding train is to return to extinguish a line side fire.